All right, here's a story about the Malbim. The Malbim was a great rabbi. His name was Meir Levush ben Yechiel Weiser. Malbim, that was his name, the Malbim. He lived in, he passed away about 200 years ago. He lived in in Romania, in that area. And he had tremendous opposition tremendous opposition from what we call the intellectual Jews, the maskilim, and their idea was of the intellectual Jews that Judaism, maybe it was a thing that the old-fashioned stupid people believe in a long time ago, and that it's not relevant today. Not relevant today. The whole what was called the Haskalah movement. It's called the Haskalah movement. Now these people were his opposition. They were very intelligent people. They were and a lot of them knew the Torah. In fact, almost all of them, they knew the Torah, and they were very well versed in the Torah. But they decided that it wasn't for them. It wasn't for anybody. So they came to him and they said, you, Rabbi, you say that there's going to be a third temple, and Mashiach is going to come and build the third temple, right? That's what the Maimonides says. Yeah, that's right. I said, well, you're lying to the people. You're fooling everyone. It says clearly in the prophecy of Isaiah that greater will be the second temple than the first temple. Gadol yeh zeh bayit ha'achron me'arishon. The Achron, the second temple, is called Achron. It's called the last. The word Achron means the last one, right? So the second temple is the last temple. That's all there is. And so how can you say that there's going to be a third temple? So he said, well, I'll tell you. He said, it says by Moses that before Moses went to speak to the Jewish people, so God said, I'm going to show you 3 signs to show to the Jewish people. The first sign is take your stick and throw it on the ground, and it'll become a snake. That's the first sign. The second sign is take your hand and put it into your vest. Take it out, and it'll be white like leprosy. And then God says to him like this: if the Jewish people don't listen to the first sign, and they don't listen to the last sign, if they don't listen to these 2 signs, then I'll show you the third sign, which is blood. Take the water and it'll turn into blood. So if so, we see that God calls the second sign, he calls it the last one, and nevertheless, there's one after it. So it's last in regard to the number 1. There's 1 and 2. If you look at only 2, then that's the last one. But the last one doesn't mean that there's not going to be any more after it. So they said, okay, so the word achron doesn't mean last. No, doesn't mean last. It means that there could come one after it, and it'll come. And he says, and even more. What was the last sign, the last one that God showed Moses? He first of all showed Moses the stick turning into a snake. And then he showed the hand becoming like leprosy. And he said, and what was the third sign, the sign that came after the acharon, that came after the last one, the one that came after the last one, was blood. Well, it says in our week's Torah portion, if you look, it's chapter 12, sentence number 13. It says, V'haya adam lachem la'ot alabatim. It says in the blood, let me just show you the sentence. Let me see if I can get this here. Oh, here we go. V'haya, and it will be hadam, blood, lachem, for you, la'ot alabatim. It's talking about the Jewish people put blood on their door frames before they left Egypt. Right? They had to take the blood of the circumcision, the blood of the offering that they made, and they had to put it on the doorposts. Interestingly, on the inside, but not important, on the doorpost. So it says that so you put this blood on your houses, and the the evil, whatever is the murderous powers will pass over your house. So it says, Adam, the blood will be a sign on the houses. The blood, namely this third sign of blood that I showed you, which comes after what's called the acharon. What it says, the acharon, and after the acharon comes another one. What was it? The blood. Said, well, the blood is also going to be a sign for the houses, even though there are two houses, and the second one is called acharon, just like the second sign that God showed Moses was called acharon. But nevertheless, there's going to be one that comes after it, just like there was one that came after the signs of Moses. There was the blood. The blood is a sign that something can come after what's acharon. So there will be a third temple. That was the story of the Malbim against his enemies. And just let me give you a story which is maybe a little more sort of how do you say spicy. So they hated him so much that it used to be the custom over there, and that the people would send on Purim, they would send like a plate or like a tray, and they would put all sorts of candies and things like that on the tray. And they sent to him a tray, and he opened it up, and there was a big head of a pig there, head of a pig on the tray. That's what they sent to him as a joke. So he sent back to them also a tray. And they opened up the tray, and there was a picture, a photo of himself. And he said, because you sent me a photo of yourself, a picture of you, I'm sending you a picture of me. Have a good day with Mashiach now. See you, God willing, tomorrow, 8:15.